I'm Kim Anderson, President of the Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to this edition of Faribault Works. Faribault enjoys a diverse economy with lots of different jobs in the community, high-tech, artisan jobs, all kinds of jobs. People work in big companies and small companies, and generally people like to talk about the job that they have. So we've teamed up with TLT Video Productions and FCTV to produce Faribault Works. It's sponsored by Steel Waseca Cooperative Electric. And today we're talking with Todd Thompson, who's a senior team leader at TrueView. Hi, how are you doing, Todd?
Great.
Good.
You?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good.
So what does it mean to be a senior team leader?
Senior team leader here at TrueView. I am basically a manager of 4 supervisors that manage 16 other people. I also manage a warehouse coordinator that keeps the plant clean, product moving through the business, and on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about what actually is produced here at TrueView and how, so that we know more about what your job is like.
Sure. TrueView is a glass coating company for picture framing. We basically distribute to all the picture framing businesses throughout the United States and also global as well. We put an anti-reflective coating on it. It gets actually coated, a UV coating on it from a company, the same company, TrueView in McCook in Illinois. And they put a UV coating on it. They send it to us. We put an anti-reflecting coating on both sides of it, and then which makes the products that you see behind us right now.
Okay. So how long have you been here?
20 years.
20 years?
It'll be 20 years in December.
So tell us a little bit about how you got this job in the first place and the changes that you've seen, the progression you've made in your career here at TrueView.
Well, how I got this job in the first place, kind of funny, it was actually down at Al's.
Hey, all right. Shout out to Al's.
In Faribault. And I met up with a friend down there, and she'd mentioned that TrueView was hiring. And so she told me to put an application in. I put my application in. That was in 1994.
Okay.
And got hired on as a production operator, which is the entry level of the business here.
And what does somebody that's a production operator actually do during the day?
They basically, they'll basically help close boxes, on the line. When they put a glass in the carton, they have to tape it up, load the glass onto the line, make sure it keeps moving through there so that we don't get any jams and stuff inside the coater, and basically making sure product is ran on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. And so from that position, what happened next?
From that position, I ended up moving into a quality position, kind of looking at the glass. You inspect it, make sure it doesn't have any defects on it, make sure that it's cut square, and before it gets shipped out to our customer.
Must be some very exact specifications that you are looking for there, right?
Yep. There's you want to be able to make sure that there's no scratches on it, no particles or anything like that. Making sure that the coating is applied properly on there too as well.
Okay. And next?
That position, I went on to process tech. It was basically kind of looking into how you put the coatings on the glass. You got to tune it in. It's just not like a light switch. You can't just turn it on and off. You got to basically monitor it through a series of processes so that it does.
It's a pretty high-tech kind of application?
Yep, it's pretty high-tech. So I got into that a little bit, and then from that I went on to filling in as a team leader, and I started team leading people at that time. And the team leaders here are supervisors, so I was supervising probably about 10 people, and then the line I was actually currently working on shut down and then moved out to San Diego. And so we had to take the production line apart here, and then I decided to go out to San Diego, obviously.
Yeah, tough job, right?
Yeah, it was a tough one, tough decision. I was young and decided to go out there and set the line up that I was working on here at the time, and then went out there in about 1997 and then helped put the line back together again as a team leader there. It was kind of stepping stones for me at that time because I had to set the line up, get it all put back together, and then start to try to train and hire new people in at that time. So it was a great opportunity for me to be able to grow within this company. Also at that time then we started running, and a lot of our knowledge was kind of in our heads that way, and we had a little bit of difficulty starting up. We had some help from another business that we were out there coding for. They came in and gave us some tools for Six Sigma, and so trained all of us out there. We kind of started to write standard operating procedures and train people through that.
Maybe you just want to briefly explain what Six Sigma is about.
Sure. Six Sigma is kind of a process that's used throughout a lot of businesses. You'll hear it around Faribault and Northfield, and a lot of other businesses have started to get into that. I strongly feel TrueView's been pretty good at staying ahead of the game on that kind of stuff. We started, like I said, back in, probably would have been around that time, 2000, 2001, really hitting it out in California, learning that process. And basically it's, you go through a series of knowledge of being able to know your line real well. You set up and look at the processes, you start creating process flows. They show you how to do all that in the training. You go through meetings, set up meetings with other people so that you get the knowledge from everybody, not just one person trying to think about, okay, I'm going to fix this. It's getting a group of people together that are really close to the line. Then go through the series of meetings and ideas and that, brainstorming. Go through like fishbone diagrams. You look at your process and it tells you what kind of things fit into there, what could be causing problems to that process. And then you start to go through the brainstorming of how to fix it. Then once you start to fix it, you get testing, you go through the line, you try to figure out getting data, this is where you're currently at. It's kind of your baseline. So you look at that and then you do your improvements, you take the testing again, you find out whether it's made an impact to that. If it makes an impact to it, the ultimate outcome is writing an SOP and then training other individuals so it's always the same.
SOP?
Standard operating procedure. And basically step-by-step pictorial process to be able to train others and show them that this is how this process is supposed to work.
Well, that's really fascinating. So you mentioned training. When you start out in a position and you make the kind of progress in a career that you have, training takes a big part of that, I'm guessing. So tell a little bit about the training you've received and maybe what your education was from the start.
Sure. A lot of my education, I started this company right out of high school. I hit a couple jobs right before that, but the biggest thing about TrueView and the nice thing about it is they move along with, as the years progress, they follow the technology, whether it comes in with automation, just different technologies that other business units are using as well. And then so they send you as an individual to these classes, which the Six Sigma one I mentioned already, it's kind of they go by green belt and then black belt champion. And so there's a series of classes you take. Usually they're 2 weeks long, and the black belt they will use like 2 to 4 weeks there. So you go through that. I mean, they send you off to the company that trains to it. Once you get that training, you have to actually do a project. And so they monitor whether you know all the systems that it takes to be a green belt. And then once you pass off of that, your project's complete. You've made an impact to the business and improved the processes, yields. You also get money basically from that. You look at the return on investment and what the things that you put in on that, to make it a better process. And so if you get that, then you can also move on to further, belts, I guess you could call it. They can get to the green belt, then the black belt, and they can keep moving up the chain in that area. So TrueView stayed ahead of that. As far as other trainings that I've gotten, they go through leadership fundamentals. I mean, they're strong into, making sure that the leaders of the business are making the right decisions and coaching and mentoring others in that area too.
So just tell me a little bit about the traits. When you talk about leadership, what are the kinds of things that TrueView or in the training through Six Sigma, or what you observe as the traits of a leader that really can progress in a career?
Sure. With the 4 supervisors that I manage here, we actually have a vision that we look at here. And the 3 of them there's 3 pillars. One is developing yourself. It's looking at, just recently we had a U of M class for them. They went there. It's for coaching for excellence, so that they get the right tools to be able to coach and mentor people.
Okay.
They also do 360s on themselves. I don't know if you heard about that. It's basically getting feedback from other people that work directly for you or with you, and they give you feedback on how well you do your job. And it's good, and opportunities that you may have. So you sit down with your manager and you kind of figure out, okay, this is what the feedback was. These are the great things that you do in your job. These are some opportunities you can improve on. So that's one of the pillars that we work on individually with the supervisors.
Okay.
The middle pillar is developing the team. So within that, you're developing your team by one-on-ones. We have the supervisors have one-on-ones with each individual on their team. It helps get feedback on what that person wants to do in their career growth, what things that they need to look and improve on, or other things that they may want to get involved in that can impact the business. So we do that in the development team. We also do computer classes. So if some individuals want to learn more about computers, they have that opportunity. We have people come here and actually train on Word, Excel, PowerPoint, that kind of stuff. We also have selecting recruiting. We kind of really want to look at hiring A-plus people. We want to keep continually building our future with the people that we have on the teams, and there's also a lot of people on the teams that obviously are deemed as A+, and that's where we are today, is having the right people in the right spots.
So how do you tell if a person is an A+ person?
It's basically, we look at what the job responsibilities are for the job that they're applying for, and we go through the interviewing processes, and we basically sit down and get feedback on what they've done, or some career opportunities that they may like also, and then you just look at that and kind of gauge, okay, this person wants to work here and they have a great background, and then also have opportunities to grow within the company. So that's what we like to do, is keep having that growth opportunity for people who work here.
That's awesome. Thank you,
Then
Todd.
the third column actually is the impact of the business.
Okay.
The impact of the business part of it is monitoring your day-to-day activities on the floor. We also have continuous improvements that we offer for people who work on the floor, can fill out a form, and they can give their ideas, and it's monitored on a week-to-week basis by the management team. And it also gives that person that opportunity to say, hey, I thought of this idea and it got implemented. So that's our continuous improvement part of it. And then also we have the other part of it is just keeping the plant clean. We have a 6S, they call it. It's just a systematic way of making sure you sort, set in order, standardize, shine. Safety's a part of that too. So it's just keeping the plant clean and making sure that everything looks good out on the floor.
That's awesome. We'll be back with some final comments from Todd after this word from our sponsor.
The Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce would like to thank Steel Waseca Cooperative Electric for sponsoring this episode of Faribault Works.
I'm Doug Hughes with Steel Waseca Cooperative Electric. We're the electric cooperative that serves the region around Faribault, Minnesota, and we feel that Faribault has many opportunities and that it's possibly the gateway to America, to the United States, because it's right south of Minneapolis-St. Paul with easy access to I-35, and they have an easy approach for airport traffic, rail, they have natural gas, and there's many industrial customers that take advantage of this close proximity to the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport, and also the small town community and the helpful community that Faribault is. And they have plenty of industrial land for businesses to develop and plenty of accesses off the freeway, and they have many supportive businesses in town, plus their Chamber of Commerce, which is a very good link to any help that anybody should need in the Faribault area.
Well, Todd, when we were talking last, you were in San Diego, and we kind of lost track of your career path. So maybe you can fill us in on what's happened between San Diego and now.
Sure. In San Diego, we finished off as being a team leader. We did get some training, like I mentioned, in the Six Sigma department through TrueView, where I was working at. We ended up going into a special projects leader, which was in charge of basically improving processes using the Six Sigma tools that we learned. Then I went into a manufacturing engineer, and unfortunately the plant had to close down because we were coating TV monitors, which were the tube type style, and they basically don't make a lot of those
Technology
anymore.
Changes, right?
Technology changes. Then the plant, that line got sold to a company over in India. Had some opportunity to go over there and do some training with some of the tools that I learned out there. Then they wanted me back here too to kind of bring some of that knowledge back to TrueView, what I've already learned out there, and also at the same time everybody else was learning it here too as well, and really rode with it, and the company has been very successful with using those kind of tools. I came back as a team facilitator and also got into being a safety coordinator at the same time. Talk about training that the company gives to somebody. Got a lot of training and went to OSHA training up in the cities, to kind of understand what they look for in the safety area for that too. So that was a great opportunity for me. And then after that, I went on as a senior team leader, and as we discussed in the very beginning, those are some of the things that I work on a day-to-day basis here at TrueView.
Sounds like there's a lot of training, continuous training and education. So plans for education?
Yeah, I'm looking to go back to school in the fall for adding on for business management, and looking to hope to move up to bigger and brighter things.
Good for you. That's great. Congratulations, and thanks for sharing so much about your job. We want to know a little bit about you too, so tell us about your hobbies, about your family.
Some of my hobbies I like to go camping. I like to ride motorcycle, fishing. I got a wife named Tara, 2 beautiful children, Violet and Ella. Ella's 4 and Violet's 7. And those are the most important things in my life.
That's awesome.
Family
keeps you
work.
busy, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, what is the family like camping together? And
yeah, we camp out at Beaver Dam, and it's a pretty fun place to go to in the summer. Keeps us busy on the weekends, and kids are really like doing the same thing. So
that's wonderful. Well, this is Todd Thompson, who's a senior team leader at TrueView. It's fascinating to hear about his work and his path along the way from developing his career with a lot of personal integrity and hard work. There's a lot of great jobs out there, and if you know of one and you'd like to be interviewed on Faribault Works, give me a call at the Chamber. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Steel Waseca Cooperative Electric, for making this program possible.